Hello everyone, I hope you're all well. 2023 has ended and it left behind some very peachy projects. Rap got very exciting, the jungle scene is still ever so growing, jazz gained a resurrected pep in its step, and ambient with its broad spectrum of beauty to perturbed, it is still delivering mindful soundscapes. Which brings us on to our number 10 spot, Polypore's Predomitium. Predomitium is a wonderfully warm record which encases you in treacling, plucky arps and enveloping soundscapes, which all comes from his modular synth. In the Bandcamp description, Polypore says that this album was recorded in 2020 and brought along the environment around that time with it. Which is wicked because this album gives off this same illuminating and speckled aura as a Christmas tree draped in a spiral of fairy lights nestled in the corner of a dimly lit feng shui living room. Some of the highlights off this record would be the completely vast pure colours and light charged clouds, the very playful, nonsensical and fragmented, and the eye-opening ender of And Slowly Open Your Eyes. Very solid ambient record, get on it. Next up, number 9, and it is fucking divine. We've got Lorraine James, Gentle Confrontation. Lorraine James slaps us across the face with pristine IDM, drill and bass and art pop infused realism as this album goes over very reflective and familial connotations. Bloody love the drum programming on this record. Each percussive element trills, convulses and jolts their way through extremely lush instrumentals, and I also love it when they go a bit slower on the more soulful cuts like Speechless and Disjointed 2. Gentle Confrontation is home to some stellar features as well, especially Richie on Deja Vu with his crooning delivery and intermittent flows, as well as Morgan Simpson with the fucking brilliant intricate drumming on IDMU, possibly the best track off this record. Also got to appreciate the very bold lyricism and the hearty contralto performances from Lorraine herself. She did a brilliant job and the mixing on this record is phenomenal too. That is the cherry on top. We shall move on to number 8, which is going to be Mild Sorrow integrated with Variety List. This album is essentially a lovely audio note to his recently passed dog at the time, Pippon, and is everything you want to remember from having a pet. Brightness and jubilance. Variety List is also a versatile smorgasbord of genres too, like you've got pleasant, perky Indie-tronica cuts like Dos Mil Centavos and Techo, as well as electronica, bit pop, drum and bass, and essences of two-step and liquid drum and bass. The production is neat and plucky, the guitar sounds are super soothing, and I love the bit-crushed veneer on the very breathy and comforting vocals. And the ender, Soul 7.20 Sunbathing Dog Mix, is literally heaven in audio form. Fucking, mate, it made me tear up first time listening to it. It was so gorgeous. A phenomenal record from a underrated producer. Please check it out. Next up, number 7, and it is the best guitar music had to offer this year in my opinion. Anoni and the Johnsons, My Back Was a Bridge for You to Cross. Feel the trees begin to leave. Smoke swallowing each. Now, if you know me, guitar music isn't my forte and I don't really know how to describe it, so I'll give it my best shot because I fucking love this record. Guitars are definitely guitaring. They are sounding like fretted string instruments with tons of clarity to them, and they sound proper crisp. But what really brings me to this record is Anoni herself, her velvety vibratos, her mellifluousness, and her poetic activism and austere concepts. It's what brought me to this record and what made me love it so much. The soul this album seeps is totally emphatic, and my favourite track off this record is Can't. It's got a snowballing energy which is juxtaposed by the lyricism, which is all about mourning and despair. It is just fucking wicked. We swiftly move on to number 6, which is going to be VHS Head Focus. VHS Head is a total alchemist when it comes to crafting cerebral and sample-heavy IDM, and I put emphasis on sample-heavy because he uses a sprawling collection of tapes and samplers as his orchestra. The sound palette to focus is gunky, most tracks beautifully galump around carrying soaring, sparkling synths and arps, as well as deep vocals which have been fed through so many effects they are mostly unintelligible at times. This album could perfectly be a soundtrack to a metropolis that's in dire need of repair. Flying cars abandoned, laying dormant on the street, and uncanny AI humanoids jittering and short-circuiting everywhere. Basically Birmingham in 50 years or so, or maybe now. We move on to number 5 now, which is going to be Fiesta Sound System with Sinking. This album is drill and bass galore. The drums are meticulously unrelenting and they endlessly babble on for its hour and 5-minute runtime. The pads and synths are mechanically cold, and the bass production with its many hits, zaps and enveloping nature, it can fucking shake house blocks, I swear to God. And the progressions can be extremely tense and claustrophobic, especially on tracks like Diaphanous, Diaphoresis, Glisten.soft and Residue.ls. Get the fuck on this album. Next up, number 4 is... Eight Quadrants is a nuclear winter of sound. There are so many uneasy, desolate drones and pulses throughout its fairly short 29-minute runtime, and it's all so spine-chilling. The sparse piano moments, especially on track 1 and track 3, are entirely cavernous and full of tension. They really pierce through the miasma these two tracks embody, and they are fantastic. I also love the random potent bass hits and the spontaneous percussive features that are riddled throughout this record. They are like shockwaves for your ears, and they change up a track so prevalently. It's a very brutalist album, give it a listen. Next up, taking the bronze medal and a proper juxtaposing switch up, it is Bored Lord with Name It. This album is essentially banger after banger after banger of empowering and excellently crafted breakbeat and hardcore breaks. This album heavily relies on lush looping vocal samples, screw-face-worthy bass lines, and very pretty yet cheesy synth stabs and refrains. The last two tracks on this record have a junglist backbone as well, which is awesome because they are fairly reminiscent to the tracks from GLR, Precious Materials, Timeless Recordings. End of the day, it's ubiquitously bustling and anthemic, and if you don't throw shapes to this record, then, I don't know, you literally don't have a soul. Next up, number 2, it is Colin Stetson, When We Were That What Wept for the Sea. Colin Stetson unleashes the beast in this record, and the beast in this case is his lungs. The arpeggios and ostinatos that are the invigorating building blocks for this record are so mesmerizing and muscular. They really put you in either blissful or freakish trance. I love the ghostly, ethereal hummed refrains that feature on most tracks on this record, and I love the sounds of the keys slapping against the saxophones, especially on the track Behind the Sky. They are so prominent on that. The series of Lighthouse tracks on this record too are so enigmatic yet eloquently written. I also love the Celtic homages in there too. Alright, we've made it to number 1. The best album to have dropped in 2023, in my opinion, is Headache. The head hurts, but the heart knows the truth. Excellent beatmaker Vegan and his AI-generated, poetry-focused mate has dropped an album that makes you ponder and reflect. It is brooding to the core, and it's fucking phenomenal. This album is like hosting a therapy session for the television show Jam. This monotone humanoid commentary has got such a bold articulation on depression, isolation, overview on people, relationships, and more austere subjects, and you'd never know it would have been AI in the first place. Vegan absolutely crushes it too with the production. It is robust and pristine, and I love the classical nods in there too, and the breakbeats are so heavy, they amble throughout tracks. It is fantastic. Hey guys, Mr. Beast here. What a video. That was rootin' tootin' long. I hope you enjoyed it, especially when it's mid-March. Thanks for watching.